Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're gonna go ahead and get things going. So, if we could have you take your seats, please. All right, thank you very much. And it's just glad to have you guys all here today. I'm Joe Wharton. I'm with Tri-County Bank, and I'm the past president of the chamber. Eric McClear is our current president. He couldn't be with us this morning, so we're carrying on. One of the things I need to do up here is to thank all of our members, and then especially thank our sponsors for today. And it's pretty cool because it just kind of shows how far we've come in the last year. Last July we expanded, we opened things up to include Richmond Township and Lenox Township. And then here we are today, and our top two sponsors are from the Richmond area. So that's amazing to me. It just shows how far we've come, and we certainly appreciate them. I'm going to go ahead. Our top two diamond sponsors, they actually get to come up. They'll say some words. So I do want to welcome them first, and then I'll go ahead and go through the rest of the sponsors as well. I'm going to go ahead. I'll start with First State Bank from Richmond, Sarah Boyle. They're switching things up on me.
Sorry, I'm Heather Williams. I'm actually the branch manager in Washington Township at 26 and Jewel. Sarah Boyle is the manager over in Richmond. From First State Bank, we are your hometown bank. I'm sure you've heard that slogan many times. Our bank has been around since 1917, so we're privately held. We do and offer all of the same services that large banks do, just much more on a more personal, non-appointment scale. You could come in and you can sit with a manager, an assistant manager, and you're going to get help. You're going to get help immediately. We offer all banking services to consumers and businesses as well. And one of the biggest things that we're most proud of is all of the community support that we give. We are involved in several charities and donate into each community to nonprofits. So very, very important, and it's a great place to work, and it's a great place to be. So thank you.
And then also from Richmond, we have Richmond Community Schools, Superintendent Brian Walmsley.
I'm on your turn, sorry. No. First of all, I want to thank you for allowing us to be a sponsor. Richmond Schools has been a sponsor of the former Richmond Area Chamber of Commerce for many years, and actually at one point actually housed the chamber in our district in their transition. So we are excited to be part of this chamber because it helps our students network with various businesses, and that's ultimately our goal, is to connect our students to a post-secondary option for them. We have a lot going on in our district. We just finished our 2019 bond. It was a long process, but we finished it. And upcoming is this Thursday is our State of the District. So if you want to hear what other things going on in our district, 7 o'clock Thursday, we have a State of the District presentation. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian. All right, I'm gonna go through our other sponsors, and if you would stand as I call you, just so you get that recognition. Our gold sponsors, DTE. Henry Ford Health System, Michigan Works, Macomb and St. Clair counties. Our silver sponsors, Anderson, Eckstein, and Western. Blue Water Trucking. Don Brown, Macomb County Commissioner. And Giffords Webster. Our Ruby sponsors, these folks are from Armada, Dawn and Justin, Armada, Michigan. We got the law firm McLean, Myjack, and Clark. Mount Vernon Medical Office, Dr. Renee Susko. Superior State Bank, Julie Krumholz. And then also Synergy. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Before we get into lunch, I would like to say grace and thank you for all of our blessings. Bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you very much.
this lunch, we're going to start the program off. I am Kelly Stevens, the Executive Director of the Northern Macomb Regional Chamber, and we are thankful that you have decided to join us this afternoon. I'd like to introduce the dignitaries that are in the room. First off, we have Lieutenant Governor Gilhurst. Macomb County Deputy Executive John Paul Rea. Macomb County Board of Commissioners Don Brown. The Honorable Judge Jennifer Andery. Bruce Township Supervisor Mike Philbrook. Bruce Township Treasurer Frank DiGiorgio. Oh, we couldn't make it, okay. Village of Romeo President Megan Poznansky. Village Clerk, Village of Romeo Clerk Catherine Trapp. Village of Romeo Treasurer Caroline Miller. And Washington Township Supervisor Sam Pervetti. When we host these events, we're so grateful and lucky. We always get the Honorable Judge Jennifer Andery to MC our events. And with that, Jennifer.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is always my privilege and honor to get up here and speak in front of you. And every event is different, and this event is not unusual in that aspect because we have so many new faces that I haven't been able to see before, and thank you, so welcome. And it is my distinct honor and privilege today to introduce to you Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. There's not much that people don't know, I'm sure, about the Lieutenant Governor. But when doing my research, because you all know that I tend to do that, and I tend to do my homework because I find it fascinating to learn about the people that make our lives and try to attempt to make our lives in a governing body just that much better for each and every one of us. And what I came to learn is that Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist has dedicated his career to solving problems. And he's an engineer by training, and I think this is the greatest part because with what all the schools are doing, specifically, it's my understanding you toured Romeo High School today. So knowing that innovation is something that is key to you, your thoughtful innovation, progressive reform, efficient modernization of policies and programs to make them work better for hard-working families, and that is what we have here in our communities. And I love most and most privileged to work with those people. So to everybody here, understand that our Lieutenant Governor is working tirelessly for those things and spearheading campaigns for equality and justice to harness technology to solve real-life problems. So as part of the Whitmer administration, so I don't know if you guys know that, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist sought to address injustice and inequity across our state at every single level. But I think not only just co-chairing the Michigan Joint Task Force on Jail and Pretrial Incarceration, which I deal with on a daily basis, and I am now privileged to have information that I didn't have before, that not many people know about, but getting to know the human that comes in front of you is very different, and not all judges get that information to know that the person that's standing in front of you may not be there just for what they're charged with, charged for. So spearheading those programs affects me directly, so I wanted to thank you for that. Most importantly too, helming the Coronavirus Task Force on Racial Disparities, and those task forces have taken actions that have saved lives and protected our most vulnerable populations. And we saw that too with all of our nursing homes. It's been 4 years, huh? Whew. So after going to and graduating from the University of Michigan, you worked as a software engineer for Microsoft? I couldn't get my Microsoft to work today. I was like, somebody help me! And they're like, the judge is yelling again. It's something technology related. So
you moved to Washington, D.C., and he served as the director of new media at the Center for Community Change and the national campaign director of the MoveOn.org. But in 2014, he moved back to Detroit. Were you born? You were born in Detroit. I recall my son asking Echo that when I told him that I was going to be introducing you today. He says, Echo, where is her? Did you guys have those Amazon devices? We have them in every room, and I'm pretty sure that yours start talking to you randomly. Everyone in the family's like, nobody's talking to you! But this morning, my son did ask that, and that's what Echo told him. He was born in Detroit, and I was like, thank you, Echo. But before joining this administration, working in local government, part of Microsoft as a software engineer, building SharePoint, helped build SharePoint into the fastest growing product in the company's history. So at this point in time, I think that Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist has proven that he is committed to building a more just, equitable, prosperous, and connected Michigan where everyone can thrive. And I think our communities here have seen that, have been able to take advantage of that, and it is our privilege and our honor to have you here. So welcome, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Judge. It's really a privilege to be here with all of you as well. I want to thank the Chamber for the invitation and the opportunity to come and speak with you, and congratulate you on this mega merger of chambers to create this Voltron alliance of economic development professionals, of small business owners, of educators, everyone who's interested in this community or this collection of communities moving forward. I am addressing you as Lieutenant Governor serving alongside Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a privilege that I am proud to have every single day. But I'm also addressing you as a two-time recovering entrepreneur. So I've started and sold 2 technology businesses in my career, small companies, and so I know a little bit about what it means to be on the grind and understanding, you have a dream and it feels like it's just out of reach, but I need a little bit of help. But you also know that somehow you find a way. You find a way to solve a problem. You find a way to find that next team member or build your team that's going to help you get to the next level. And you have a community that supports you. And I know chambers like this are incredibly important to making sure people can see their success and can achieve their success. Because your success as a chamber means our communities are more prosperous and more vibrant, and it means that more people will want to choose to say yes to living in our communities. And so that's what's important to me, that every community sees a pathway forward that is inclusive, that anyone with an idea anywhere in Michigan can be successful with pursuing that idea and putting it into the world and making Michigan the best place for them to have one of those ideas. Now, I think the job of any public official, we have so many people serving in elected and appointed office who joined us here today, our jobs are to create the conditions for people to have a chance at success. Not to, you can't give someone success, but you can create the conditions that make it more possible, that prepare people perhaps a little better. I think if we deliver a good government that creates the conditions for health and wealth in our communities, it makes many, many things possible. And I'm really proud to say that Governor Whitmer and I worked really hard with local leadership here in Macomb County specifically to be able to deliver a significant amount of prosperity. Since 2020, just to give you some numbers, we have actually announced business development projects across the county that have created more than 1,500 jobs and have been able to leverage almost $589 million in private investment. We think this leverage opportunity with the public sector stepping up and stepping in as a partner has drawn this private investment to, again, help our communities grow, and we're really proud of that. And during the same period since 2020, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, our friends at MEDC, have provided grant support capital to more than 50 unique businesses in Macomb County. That includes companies like PASM Company, which is providing custom robotic assembly lines for Tier 1 suppliers. And actually, we just announced that they created 100 new jobs just last week. And it also includes L&L Products. We're really proud that just recently they have started in your kitchen, in the founder's kitchen, but now making prototypes in the oven. And with State Health, have created 65 advanced manufacturing jobs in Romeo. This is what we're choosing to invest in because we believe these communities have such an amazing pathway forward. Now, I appreciate the fact that small business drives our economy. And I think that as leaders, we need to find ways to make it easier for small businesses to do the thing that they do best, to focus on what makes their businesses unique, to focus on what differentiates them in their sector, to focus on the things that they need to grow. And a lot of times that means just like moving out of the way. That means if a process is too difficult, we need to make it simpler. If a permit is too difficult to obtain, we need to make sure that permitting process makes more sense. And that often involves having to have direct conversations with people who are going through these processes. And so one of the things that I spend a lot of time on is trying to have direct, frank conversations with people who are just ready to take that next step, but something's been holding them down or holding them back. And especially in a case where there may have been a process that's happening with state government, I think it's our job to fix that. It's one of the ways that my experience as an engineer shows up in my public service, because engineers, and my engineering friends who are in the room, engineering is simply making systems work better for people. It is problem solving, it is removing inefficiencies so that something can work better. And so I think that applies to policy, I think it applies to regulation, I think it applies to process. But I know that working with the chamber, we can identify those barriers and then knock them down so that people can just focus instead on their prosperity, on their ambition, and on our opportunities that we have across all our communities. Now, the governor introduced the state budget in February. We proposed it to the legislature, and now they're in the process of working and negotiating with us through June. I want to highlight some things that were in that state budget that really focus how we are going to make sure that we continue to create the conditions for businesses to be successful, to grow, for new businesses to start, and for businesses that may not currently be in Macomb or may not currently be in Michigan to choose to take their next step and build the next chapter in Michigan. We have proposed $20 million additional dollars for business attraction and community revitalization. Now, basically what that means is, in order for a person to choose to live in a place, that place has to be someplace they want to live. That sounds redundant. What I mean is we need like vibrant public spaces. We need amazing and attractive green spaces. We need to have an infrastructure that supports creativity as well as industry. And I think having these kind of magnetic places in communities of all different shapes, of all different sizes, and of all different types creates a diversity of communities that a diverse array of professionals will want to choose when they take their next step. And when they get that next job as an engineer, or as an attorney, or as a marketing professional, or an HR professional, we want all of them to feel like they have a home that they can raise a family in safely and confidently. Know that their kids will grow up and be stimulated in all the positive ways. They go to amazing schools like Romeo High School that I just visited, where they have their academy program that really exposes kids to different kinds of opportunities in industry. And I do want to take an aside because Tom let me know that many members of this chamber were instrumental in helping that academy program get connected to the local businesses that I saw up on the wall in the common area of the school where kids were eating lunch. I want to thank you for supporting public education. Thank you for creating that kind of unique experience that, someone like me, I became a software engineer because I did a job shadow of a computer program in 11th grade. Now, if you think about it, imagine job shadowing a computer program. That's like the most boring job shadow ever. Like I literally sat in the corner and watched the guy type. But I thought it was amazing. You never know what's gonna stick. And that's why these kind of exposure experiences are so important. And in order for those exposure experiences to be possible, we need industry to partner with educators. Because that dual experience is what's ultimately gonna lead to the inspiration that'll define a career path for someone. Or, just as valuably, it may point them to a career that they don't like. They say, you know what? I tried that. I never want to build anything again. And that's fine. That's actually very positive. To recognize and have exposure to things, and maybe realize that's not your interest, but it may be someone else's. All of these experiences are valuable and constructive and foundational and help young people learn how to navigate complicated situations, how to work in teams, how to resolve conflict, and frankly also how to communicate their ideas and do so in a healthy and productive and not combative way. These are the kinds of skills that we need to make sure people are exposed to. Because those skills in the entrepreneurs of today and tomorrow are what is going to grow our economy, are what is going to grow our chamber, and are what is going to grow the collection of communities represented here in Northern Macomb. So I'm excited to work toward laying that foundation with all of you going forward. As you know, we all have a role to play in ensuring our community's success. We all have a role to play to make sure that there may be something that you uniquely are equipped to contribute. There may be something that happens in the community that will only happen if you step up, if you step out, and if you take action. If you make that investment, if you build that relationship, if you make that phone call, if you write that check, it may unlock something that, again, otherwise wouldn't happen and may have limited our community's trajectory unless you stepped up or stepped up. So I want to encourage you to encourage one another to think about what only you can do. Like, ask someone, what is the thing that you bring to the table that no one else in this room does? Because all of us have at least one thing. And then how you can apply that to the challenges that we collectively face. We do have a lot of work to do. We still have a number of infrastructure investments that we need to make in our water, in our bridges, in our internet access, in our roads. We still have a number of investments we need to make to ensure that every child with extraordinary needs has those needs met in their school building or in their classroom. We still have work to do to make sure that people who are looking to define that next chapter in their life, that they have a set of options. That's great. If they want to go into manufacturing, they want to go into the fine arts, they want wherever they want to go, that they have enough options to choose to still live in this community and contribute to its success. All of us can help make that more viable of a pathway for more people, or maybe even just for one person. But that's what we're here to figure out and find out. So I know this collective, collaborative is an amazing group of problem solvers. And I also would bet that a lot of you have a good sense about what you think needs to happen in the community for us to move forward. So I'd ask you to just make sure you're stepping up and playing your part and encouraging others to do the same. Because we can't get there alone. No community in Michigan is isolated. Now, while our problems may feel like we're the only one that has them, and maybe those other people in that other part of the community or the county don't understand what we're going through here, I promise you they want to listen to you. I promise you that when we come together in the way that, again, this chamber formed, this chamber became glued together, you can do more together than we can apart. And so thank you for making that choice and being an example, a regional example of an approach to commerce and economic development that leads to the kind of shared prosperity that makes communities thrive. And I hope that others learn from your example. I hope that others are inspired to try to do something similar to make amazing things happen. Because when we do that, that will indeed make Michigan the best place to have an idea, the best place to define your future, the best place to grow a family, the best place to start and scale a business, and the best place to retire and live the best years of your life. So thank you so much for having me here today. Congratulations on your progress and success, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Are there any questions for the Lieutenant Governor? You covered it all. Well done. That was fantastic. We covered everything. Thank you so much. All right. Are we gonna just keep it moving? All right then. I'd like to bring up the local leaders of our community. That would be Supervisor Sanford Beatty. Supervisor Mike Philbrook. And Village President Megan Wozniacki. So I know we just recently did this. I know that Mike Philbrook, when I called to ask him, said, hey, what's going on in Bruce Township? What's going on there? He's like, you know, I think it's good.
We had to get our schedule back on track.
We have to get our schedule back on track?
From COVID.
Oh, yes. So he's like, you know, everything's good. Everything's good. I don't know, who here has actually had a conversation with Mike Philbrook? Okay. Has there ever been anything with Mike Philbrook that's been, you know, this is terrible. This is a horrible situation. I have something terrible to tell you. I have some bad news for you. But it's always reassuring to know that a community leader such as yourself, the only thing you have to report is wonderful news and progress. So that's wonderful. So guess what? You get to go first. You can sit down, make
I'm real glad that it covers my belly.
Do you see how short she looked next to him?
Hi, everybody. I just want to give a little bit of history regarding township government. It's not much, and I can talk much for you with the stuff that's really going on in the township, but also why, like Jennifer said. Our township government is basically modeled after our English system. And in Michigan, we do not have towns. Instead, we have townships, villages, and cities. The townships govern about 90% of Michigan's land outside the cities, and currently Michigan has 1,240 townships. The average township has 36 sections with an average of 36 square miles per township. The township board consists of a supervisor, a clerk, and 2 to 4 trustees based on the population. And I just recently heard from a previous supervisor that back in the day, one of the qualifications to become a township supervisor is that you need to have good eyesight, because it was the job of a supervisor to make sure property lines and fence rows were straight. But it's not a qualification thing. Back in 1823, Bruce and Washington Townships were a combined community, which not a lot of people realize that. It was just called Washington Township at the time, consisting of 73.15 square miles of land and a total of only 13 families residing here. Then in 1833, Bruce Township became a separate entity, an area of 37.15 square miles, leaving Washington Township with only 36 square miles. The supervisor. Right there's the clap. Sorry, Sam. Bruce Township occupies the whole northwest corner of Macomb County and borders Lapeer County to the north and Oakland County to the west, with much of the village of Romeo in the southeast corner of the township. Also within the township, the Michigan Fort Proving Grounds, which occupies 6 square miles and has the highest point in Macomb County, the Twombly Mountain, at an elevation of 1,150 feet above sea level. Bruce Township was and still is a desired place to build a home and raise a family due to the fertile soils and rolling landscapes. By the year 2000, the population of Bruce Township was 8,158, and then 10 years later, in 2020, according to the census, the population grew to 9,324 and continues to grow at the same rate. I have a good friend of mine no longer with us. His name was Jesse Cardellio. He lived in Grosse Pointe, had a medical practice in Warren, and he also owned a 200-acre piece of land in Bruce Township with a small house on it. And he would always tell me that during the holidays he just loved coming out here because he could find everything he needed in Bruce Township to put on his holiday dinners straight from the farms. He said he would go out to the Falker farm, he could pick up a fresh turkey, drive out to High Cider Mill, grab a couple gallons of apple cider, go to Chestnut Hollow, pick up some fresh chestnuts, visit Crooked Creek Dairy Farm for milk and ice cream, be in Hootie's Farm stands for fresh produce, stop by Mike and Ruth's Hilltop Farm to buy fresh homemade pies and baked goods, go to Unilick Sheep Farm, purchase some unique articles from handmade sheep's wool, and even pick up a Christmas tree on his way. These are just some of the unique services Bruce Township has to offer. Bruce Township gets its fair share of requests from developers to change the current zoning with the township, and I'd like to thank the members of our planning commission for all the hard work that they do when they get these requests to do this research and to make the recommendations to the board for what is best for everybody in the community. We did finish up in 2023 with a very busy year with a total of 189 building permits, with 40, which was 47 more than in 2022, and 59 of those were new single-family residential homes. Additionally, we had 7 permits issued for manufacturing facilities. We do have a couple of road projects that will be coming up. There's a traffic light at the intersection of 32 Mile and Mound. Going to team up with Washington Township and Macomb County. And it's still scheduled to take place this year. And then Michigan Department of Transportation, or MDOT, has scheduled a reconstruction of M53 to 27 mile and 34 mile roads and proposes to start on June 4th of 2024. One of the big things, we did receive a conceptual drawing from a developer named Guy Rizzo regarding a 5-acre piece of land currently zoned commercial located at 33 Mile and McKay Road to build a strip mall. And in them drawings, it says show a 4,000 square foot restaurant, which is owned by Jeff Baldwin, who currently owns and operates the restaurant at 21 Mile and Shaner. It's called Testabara, and plans to build a similar restaurant there. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, everything's kind of going well in Bruce Township, so it's quiet.
Where's the new restaurant going?
33 in McKay.
Oh, thank goodness. So close to court.
Yeah, right down the road. But it is a nice restaurant. Anybody that's been there knows it's a very nice place. We do need something like that in our community, so definitely we'll be looking forward to that, and that's looking to break ground in 2025. Does anybody have any questions regarding Bruce Township at all? Is there anything? Very easy to get a hold of, so if you do, feel free to reach out to me. But thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Jim.
All right, next up, and our report from the Village of Romeo is I keep wanting to say supervisor, it's Village President, Megan Polanski. Thank you so much. As I was sitting here listening to Mike, getting a little nostalgic, I'd like to take a minute, if I may, and dedicate my time here to a close friend of mine, a Romeo resident and a young mother who was here the last time I spoke, encouraging me, fresh, up and coming. And right now she's sitting at home in the village on Prospect Street fighting for her life. This is Romeo. This is our community. These are our people. We care about every single one of you. So if I may just dedicate my time to her. Good afternoon, and thank you, Kelly, in the chamber, and our distinguished guests. I'm excited and proud to share with you today the progress, challenges, and aspirations of our village for 2024. First and foremost, let us celebrate our collective achievements. Over the past year, Romeo has continued to thrive as a vibrant and close-knit community. In the fall of 2022, village residents approved a ballot initiative to bond for our local street reconstruction, affirming their support of the continued care and maintenance of our neighborhoods. In 2023, we were able to accomplish the first of our 3-year planned road work. This spring brings us to the east side of the village, which was bolstered by a grant from MDOT, adding $250,000 to our project, allowing us to lengthen the reach of our bond monies. In continued care of not only our todays, but also our future, Village Council approved the application for Romeo, and we were awarded the My Pension grant from the State of Michigan Treasury in the amount of $130,000. This supports Michigan's underfunded municipal pension systems and assists in relieving the burden from our residents. With the continued focus on our residents' health and safety, efforts have been made to ensure improved infrastructure. The award of our most recent grant application from Eagle in the state of Michigan, we have requested the amount of $361,000. This has solidified our efforts and allowed for progress in this area. In terms of public safety, we are currently in the process of hiring a new police chief with the retirement of Chief Sokolnicki here in April. We have focused our efforts in finding the right individual who will bring continued leadership, experience, and a commitment to serving and protecting our village. One of the hallmarks of Romeo, if you've ever been around, is our commitment to community engagement and participation. I am proud to acknowledge the recent success of the St. Baldrick's event this past Saturday, which was hosted by the dedicated members of the Romeo Lions Club. This event not only raised awareness for childhood cancer research, but also showcased the generosity and compassion that further define our village. Just around the corner, we have our Arbor Day celebration, which is hosted by our village tree board. Additionally, this past year brought to us a dedication of park space on the southwest quadrant of the village on Siston Street. And currently, we have a true grassroots effort spearheaded by our very own residents, with the intentions to retain the vacant property on Prospect Street, which had previously been the home of Romeo Middle School for generations. Our commitment to environmental stewardship and green space is a testament to our dedication to preserving the natural beauty of our surroundings for generations to come. As we approach Memorial Day, we eagerly anticipate the annual parade organized by our local VFW. This solemn yet celebratory event honors the sacrifices of our servicemen and women while bringing together the community in a spirit of remembrance and gratitude. Looking ahead, we have our Vintage Fest.
This is hosted by our Romeo Downtown Development Authority. This celebration will kick off the summer on June 8th, and this year will be running in conjunction with our community-wide garage sales. This celebration promises to be an exciting occasion for residents and visitors alike. Fostering a sense of camaraderie and pride in our community, we are currently in the planning stages, and the day is shaping up to include a vintage car show, a 5K run, vintage tractors, and a kids zone. So please stay tuned for further information. Check out the DDA Facebook page, Downtown Romeo MI. As we think back on these community events and milestones, let us continue in our values of inclusivity, compassion, and civic pride that makes Romeo the special place we call home. And in closing, please accept my sincerest gratitude to all of our residents, organizations, businesses, and community leaders who not only exemplify the spirit of Romeo, but also make it the exceptional village that it is. Your passion, dedication, and tireless efforts are the driving force behind our successes. Let us continue working together in a collaborative effort, hand in hand, writing the next chapter in Romeo's history book. Thank you all. A few more things I could just add. So in talking about our green space and the grassroots effort, I do have a little bit of information if anybody was interested. They are still currently accepting donations, close to what they would like to achieve, but not yet there. I do have some flyers out on the table, or you can see me, and I have a few more to hand out. Also, with our DDA, what better place than a room full of business people than to hit up sponsorships? If you would like to assist us in our events and all the wonderful things going on around town, I do have some information here from our DDA. This is their Downtown Dog Award. Tiered sponsorships from 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. The flyer explains it all. Again, there's some out on the table, or see me after and I can get those for you. Thank you.
Hello, Supervisor Kermudi, it's your turn. I do have some questions for you at first, because I do live in Washington Township. So, but this roundabout business that's happening at campground in, what, 27-ish? Van Dyke area, campground Van Dyke, where a lot of people get in car accidents. Now, how long is that gonna take? 7 weeks. Oh, thank God, it's not 7 months? All right, maybe you can talk. Everyone, Supervisor Sanfervini.
I'll be honest, I didn't write my speech. You can visit us all on sanfervini.com. Just to be short, but I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting us in Cali and Lieutenant Governor and distinguished guests. Thank you for allowing us to speak. So I have been serving since November 2020. I have been guided by 8 principles since I've been supervisor to preserve our rural character of our community with responsible development, operate in an equitable manner, manage in a fiscally responsible manner, provide friendly, respectful service, promote a favorable business environment, demonstrate the highest ethical standards, transparency in all decisions made with open communication, and lastly, maintain our tri-community relationship with our schools, our library, Parks and Rec, and STAR system. So, as the Lieutenant Governor said, we do more together than alone. Living in Washington, we have one of the lowest millage rates in the county. We operate with operating the lowest millage in Macomb County at 0.06017. Public safety is one of my biggest goals as supervisor. We have the Macomb County Sheriffs that patrol our township since 2010, and since being supervisor, we've added 2 dedicated traffic enforcement officers to our township, which was the first time since 2010 in addition. We've also added a dedicated motor carrier officer, and we've continued our high school liaison at the Romeo High School to help with our continued safety of the school system. We've done this all through actually operating below millage without any tax increase. In fire and ambulance, we've negotiated a new 5-year contract, which has helped us to properly retain, recruit, and attract personnel. We've purchased a new fire truck, replacing our 30-year-old fire truck. We've purchased a new fire ambulance, replacing one that had over 100,000 miles. Oddly enough, we ordered these over 2 years ago. The logistics of getting a new fire truck and ambulance is really long. We've actually locked in with Stryker, it's EMS equipment for the next 10 years at the same price, which will ensure top-notch safety equipment in our township at a locked price for the next 10 years. We refurbished our Station 2 to bring it up to the times. It was over 40, close to 50 years old. We brought it up to date. We got plans to build a new Station 2 at 30 and Powell as that area becomes more an industrial area for the township to help diversify our tax base. And the current Station 2 will be refurbishing into a new deputy station for our Macomb County Sheriffs, which will give them more access in the center of our township. We've also purchased a new aerodrome. Washington Township was one of the first municipalities in the state to invest in aerodromes, which has been used in different areas of the state. And our fire staff has actually trained other staff in other parts of the county and state in that area. I know both my colleagues here to my right here, we've all worked to ensure our Parks and Rec system stays together. By working together, we ensure more
Unity.
unity. More resources by working together with less cost. So we're still working with our Parks and Rec. My big accomplishment over the last 2 years, we've done more road work in Washington Township than in the last 2 decades. We've installed over 20,000 feet of mill overlay. We've repaved West Road, Mound Road from 26 to 28, 30 Mile Road, over 8,000 feet there from Mound to Van Dyke was redone. Through the generosity of the county, we've had also preventative maintenance resurfacing on portions of 26, 27, and 29 Mile. And now the famous campground that's going to be happening tomorrow, which I'm being assured it's 7 weeks long, but I'm asking everyone to please be patient. Please support the businesses that are right there at the corner. We have the Cutting Salon and Sorrento Pizza there, which they're sweating for the next 7 weeks with that intersection being closed there. Again, the big thing with Washington is keeping our rural character. I've helped to install new ordinances to allow no more multi-housing along Van Dyke Road to keep it. Van Dyke is our main corridor of commercial, so we've done ordinances to ensure that that stays that way. Since being in office, I've held a water study town hall in 23. We're very proud. We built a water tower several years ago, which helps maintain our water rates for the last few years, and we're projected for the next 4 years to maintain that same water rate. We also did a sewer town hall study back in 21, and we also did, Comcast is actually working in the northern part of Macomb County, and we did a town hall on Comcast to bring the internet back out here to the northern Macomb County, since a lot of people are working at home. Another big improvement I've been working as a sidewalk gaps the last 3 years. We've installed over 10,000 feet of sidewalk. I got the notes here. 10,000 feet of sidewalk, which help connect to our elementary schools, the Macomb Orchard Trail, and to local businesses on Van Dyke. This year, we're very excited. SunCog has awarded us $800,000 for a bridge over 26 Mile between Jewel and M53. And we're planning to use ARPA funds for the remaining balance, which will give a safe pathway to go across on 26 Mile Road there. So we're actually going to have pathways all the way from 26 and Hayes all the way down to 26 and Mound straight shoot there, go all the way to Stony Creek. Again, since being involved, I'm now also the president of the Greater Washington Area Historical Museum. So I'm proud. Next month we're actually hosting the 197th birthday of Washington Township. I know it sounds odd to hear 197, but as we're preparing for our bicentennial in 2027, we're starting to do an annual event. My goal is to make it bigger, so by the time the bicentennial comes here, we'll be here to celebrate. Maybe Bruce will become Washington Township again at that time. Communication obviously is my big thing. As many of you know, I'm on Facebook, but I'm also on other forms of social media. I do monthly coffee talks with residents, which people come in. I have hosted over about 30 of them. I do them on the last Friday of every month. The public's always welcome. And I don't want to bore you guys any longer, but so, in conclusion, thank you all for your time, and thank you for making Washington a great place to work, live, and play.
Did Washington just do something with Hoxie Acres? Oh, for with the conservatory? What is that?
We purchased 27 acres there.
27 acres? Would you like the microphone? I'll come give it to you. I'm much louder than you are.
So Washington Township, last fall, we purchased Hawks Acres. Now it's becoming the big development area. The board, we were looking in that area to conserve some green space in that area before it all becomes developed. So, long story short, we approached Hawks Acres. They were looking to sell the property, so before a developer would develop it, we like to make it into a conservatory. It's got a lot of barns on site. We bought it with the equipment. The idea is to make it either a community garden or possibly kind of like one of those, yeah, like a learning center. We're working with the church next door as well. I've also reached out to the MSU Extension Center to see if they could utilize that space. So we have a year and a half before the property is officially 100% ours, and that's the goal, to make it conservation piece.
Thank you. Please keep the horses. I need horses around. There's nothing better. So I did not grow up here in the north end of Macomb County, but there's nothing better than being able to drive your children to school and see horses and cows, and then live and then go in a very rural area, go shopping and walk in downtown Romeo, and then do all those wonderful things. So,
do you have names for all those horses? Because when we drive by, we're like, oh, there's senior carrots. And there's
senior carrots, I love that. Oh yeah, look at half of that. Like literally, there's a horse that this is not Washington Township or up in our area, but there's a horse that is off of 26 Mile Road in over there that they were driving. It is literally split down the middle, and I've never seen a horse like that in my entire life. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. We're right on the border here of these little jurisdictions. But and also, Supervisor Graviti did bring up the new police officers that have been assigned and the law enforcement that's there. So I'm going to apologize to all of you in advance. There's a couple of them that issue citations all the time. So I welcome you to the 42-1 District Court with open arms and an open wallet. No, I do not care about that. I don't, but we definitely know that they are doing their job and making us safe. Does anybody have any questions for our community leaders, for anyone, for me? Why did I go with this bright pink today? I don't know. First day of spring, didn't work. All right, I want to again thank our Lieutenant Governor. I want to thank our community leaders for Washington Township, Bruce Township, and the Village of Romeo. And I want to thank everyone here today for allowing me to be here and talk to you and be with you. Thank you for sharing your afternoon with us. And I'm going to turn this over now to Ms. Kelly.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'll quote that once again. Thank you all for the support today. This is for this side of our chamber world. We will be hosting a legislative breakfast downtown city of Richmond on April the 15th at Minneachi. So look for that flyer to come out. We have to thank the Mitt TV for this live streaming of this event today. What else do we have? We have a TNT mixer coming up, and we have 2 Canva workshops in May, on May 7th in Richmond, and then on May 21st at the Romeo District Library. Again, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I understand you're on your way to the south end of the county now. But thank you for bringing yourself up here, and we enjoyed the message.